Never ready when I'm serving. She went over the clock like 4 times. You gave her time violation once. How is this fair? First of all, you're very good. I know, but it's the rules. It's not allowed to sit.
Siegemund must have said something.
You are a performer. You owe the people. You owe the kids that watch. And I'm just a bit, I mean, at the end of the day, I go home and I can look at myself and I can say, I did a great job.
Laura Siegemund tried to call out Coco Gauff for cheating right on the court during a match. And listen, it blew up on her in the most dramatic way possible. The German player came for Coco over supposed time violations, ran to the umpire about fairness, and basically pushed the narrative that Coco was getting some kind of VIP treatment. The gag is that everyone watching, including the officials, could see exactly what Siegemund was trying to pull. This wasn't about rules or fairness at all. This was pure gamesmanship backfiring in real time, and the regret on Siegemund's face said it all. Do you think players who jump to accuse others of cheating mid-match deserve tougher consequences?
Never ready when I'm serving. She went over the clock like 4 times. You gave her time violation once. How is this fair? First of all, you're very good. No, you're calling the score after the point is over. It's not like we're playing long points. You're calling the score like 6 seconds after the point is over. We're after this match. You missed her like 4 times. She's never ready. It's not like we're having 30-ball rallies. It's 2 balls. She's going to me. You're very clean. I'm not going. I'm going a normal speed. As any rep here, I go a medium pace speed. She's ready, but she can't. It's every single point, and everybody in this crowd knows you're not doing your job. I've been quiet the whole match. Why do you think they clapped when you gave her time violation? Because she's been missing for like 6 points. Not first set, every game, second set, every game. I didn't say nothing, but now.
Laura Siegemund and Coco Gauff stepped onto the court for what should have been a simple tennis match. But hold up, this thing flipped into a full-on drama episode in minutes. And honestly, that shift was all on Siegemund. What should have stayed a clean, straight-up battle turned into a messy parade of complaints, accusations, and straight-up questionable behavior that had fans watching like, girl, what is going on? Siegemund decided her best tactic wasn't to beat Coco with her racket, but to try and shake her mentally by whining about literally anything she could think of. The biggest issue Siegemund pushed was all about time violations. She kept arguing that Coco was dragging between points and that the umpire wasn't enforcing the rules evenly. Siegemund even went dramatic, pointing out they'd been on court for 25 minutes and Coco had only gotten 1 time violation, as if she had uncovered some major scandal. She acted like this was the crime of the century, painting it as though Coco was breaking rules non-stop while she was being policed like a different species entirely.
I know, but it's the rules. It's not allowed to sit.
Siegemund must have said something.
Here's the thing about Siegemund's argument. The umpire's job is to enforce the rules fairly. And guess what? That's exactly what was happening. If Coco had actually been breaking time rules repeatedly, she'd be racking up multiple violations and eventually losing points. The fact that she only got 1 violation in 25 minutes tells you she was mostly playing by the rules. Siegemund wasn't upset about fairness at all. She was upset that her whining wasn't working. The back and forth between Siegemund and the umpire was pure entertainment. Siegemund claimed that every umpire gives players a little leeway on the clock, like this was some universal truth. The umpire calmly shot that down. Nope, not every umpire does that, and both knew it. The umpire even called out Siegemund for smiling because she knew the truth. Translation, you're full of it, girl, so stop wasting everyone's time. Siegemund tried to escalate, saying the umpire was calling the score after the point was over, like that somehow helped Coco. And that's exactly where her argument completely collapsed. The score is always called after the point ends. That's literally tennis 101. She was basically mad at the rules of tennis itself because she couldn't find anything real to complain about. The umpire's patience totally wearing thin. When Siegemund kept whining that Coco wasn't ready after grabbing a towel between points, the umpire had finally had enough. A point penalty was slapped on her, and just like that, Siegemund's complain to win plan blew up in her face. Instead of getting an advantage, she gave away a point and cemented her role as the poor sport of the match.
You're a performer. You owe the people. You owe the kids that watch. And I'm just a bit, I mean, at the end of the day, I go home and I can look at myself and I can say, I did a great job. But did I get anything from the people for that? Even less than a zero, because they treated me bad. Like, they treated me like I was a cheater, like I was like trying, sneaky ways to win this match or something. They treated me like I was a bad person. But there are people who are throwing rackets, who are screaming, who are like making bad gestures toward the audience. I did not one moment in the whole match, and there was a lot of tension going on. Not one moment I did anything. I was just slow. And that's something in the rule. I get my time violation. That's fine. Yeah. No, I don't know.
What Siegemund was trying is straight-up classic gamesmanship in tennis. When you can't beat someone with your racket, you try to beat them in their head. You make loud complaints to the umpire, hoping your opponent can hear every word. You try to build tension, stir a controversy, and hope the younger or less experienced player starts cracking. But here's the catch. Coco Gauff isn't easily shaken, and this tactic completely flopped. Coco's seen this type of behavior before. She knows opponents love trying to mess with her focus, but experience has taught her the best move is to lock in on her tennis and ignore the noise while Siegemund fumes. Coco was probably just zoning in on the next point, thinking about strategy, and that mental toughness is what separates champions from the rest. The cheating accusations, even if unsaid outright, were loud and clear in Siegemund's complaints. When you claim your opponent is getting unfair advantages or special treatment, that's basically accusing them of bending the rules or cheating. And that's not something to throw around lightly just because you're frustrated on court. Tennis has crystal clear timing rules between points, 25 seconds from the score call to the start of the service motion. Everyone can see the clock, players, umpires, even fans on TV. If Coco were repeatedly breaking this rule, it would have been obvious. One single violation tells you she was managing her time fine, and Siegemund's complaints were pure noise. Adding to the irony, Siegemund herself is known for taking a sweet time between points. She's not exactly the fastest player out there, so for her to call out someone else, that's rich. It's like the pot calling the kettle black, except in this case, the kettle isn't even black. Coco followed the rules, and Siegemund was just salty about it. The crowd's reaction said it all. Tennis fans love good sportsmanship and respect for the game. When a player keeps whining and arguing with officials, the energy shifts fast. You could literally feel the crowd turn against Siegemund as she kept complaining. They came to watch tennis, not a courtroom drama. Meanwhile, Coco stayed completely composed. She didn't argue, didn't snap back. She let the umpire handle it and focused on her game. That's what mature players do. They refuse to feed into drama, keeping their energy for points, not arguments. The point penalty Siegemund got, totally justified. She'd been warned multiple times to stop complaining and play, but she didn't. The umpire had no choice. That penalty probably hurt her more than just the 1 point. It shook her mentally for the rest of the match. Unsurprisingly, social media went wild roasting Siegemund. Fans called her terrible sportsmanship, trying to intimidate a younger player and wasting everyone's time. The viral video of her meltdown turned into a cautionary tale for tennis players. Here's how not to act on court, how not to handle losing, and how not to treat your opponent or officials. The instant regret was written all over her face when she realized her complaints have backfired. Instead of rattling Coco, she hurt herself. Instead of getting calls in her favor, she got penalized. Instead of looking like a victim of unfair officiating, she looked like a sore loser. This whole incident fits into a bigger pattern of how some opponents treat Coco Gauff. There's a group of players who just can't handle that this young American is beating them fairly. They start looking for excuses. They file complaints. They manufacture drama where none exists. We've seen it before, like with Sabalenka whining after losses. Other players have tossed out dismissive comments. And now it's Siegemund accusing Coco of getting special treatment. The way these two players handled this match speaks volumes about their character. Coco stayed professional, locked in, and respectful the entire time. Siegemund? Complaints, arguments, and attempts to derail the match. One player came to play tennis and win on merit. The other came to win through gamesmanship and intimidation, and the results make it obvious which approach actually works. Tennis has always had psychological tactics woven into the game. Some are accepted, taking a bathroom break at a key moment, calling for the trainer to disrupt momentum, or using your full time between points. But there's a line between clever strategy and bad sportsmanship. Siegemund crossed it when she started accusing Coco of cheating and unfair treatment. The umpire deserves credit here. They stayed calm, they enforced the rules fairly. They didn't let Siegemund's whining sway their decisions, and when she continued, they imposed the proper penalty. That's what good officiating looks like. The umpire's job isn't popularity, it's fairness and keeping the match moving. Funny thing, Siegemund's complaints actually proved the opposite of what she wanted. If the officiating was biased toward Coco, the umpire would have let her keep complaining. Instead, rules were enforced and she was penalized. That's consistency, not favoritism. Think about the bigger picture.
Tennis is trying to grow, especially among younger fans. When new viewers see someone acting like Siegemund, making baseless accusations, arguing endlessly with officials, it reflects poorly on the sport. It looks petty and unprofessional. Players have a duty to represent tennis well, and Siegemund failed that test. Coco's focus under pressure? Impressive. Top players must handle tough opponents, hostile crowds, and questionable calls. Mental toughness is as crucial as physical skill, and Coco showed it in spades. The huge attention this incident got also shows how much fans care about her. She's becoming a face of tennis, especially in the US. When she's attacked with baseless claims, fans notice and defend her. That's star-level support. Siegemund probably didn't realize she wasn't just picking a fight with Coco, she was tangling with Coco's massive, passionate fan base. Looking at the big picture, this match will be remembered more for Siegemund's poor behavior than the actual tennis. And that's rough, because she's a talented player. But when you make yourself the story for all the wrong reasons, that's what sticks. She could have played the match, accepted the outcome, and moved on. Instead, she stirred controversy and harmed her own reputation. The takeaway for other players? Don't try to beat Coco through whining and mind games. It won't work. It'll make you look bad and might even fire her up to play better. The only way to beat Coco is to play better tennis than her. That's it. Everything else is just noise. The instant regret Siegemund felt, that's gonna stick. At the moment, she thought her strategy was genius. She thought she was rattling Coco. She thought the umpire would cave. Instead, everything collapsed. She got penalized, she lost the match, and she went viral for all the wrong reasons. That's not a legacy any player wants. Also, this kind of behavior can affect future relationships with officials. Umpires talk, and they remember who's difficult and who's respectful. When Siegemund plays future matches, umpires will recall this meltdown. That boy who cried wolf effect is very real in tennis. Meanwhile, Coco walked away with her head held high, handling a messy situation with maturity. Every time someone tries to shake her, she stays professional and wins anyway. She's proven she belongs at the top. Siegemund tried to take Coco down and ended up elevating her. She learned the hard way. Accusing Coco of cheating is a losing strategy. Complaints backfired, the penalty came, and the tennis world watched a self-destruction live. Coco, class and composure of a champion. Siegemund, a cautionary tale about poor sportsmanship. If you respect players who let their game do the talking instead of making excuses, hit that like button and subscribe for more straight-up tennis drama coverage.